Welcome back to CryptosRus. I am George. We're all George. So today, unfortunately, it looks like the banking crisis is getting out of control. So we have the market bell, and then we have another bank that may be in deep trouble. So let's talk about what's going on today, and let's talk about Bitcoin. So welcome, guys. The market bell, like I said, just rung. Today looking like a pretty weak day again. We know that yesterday the big story was the Fed raising the rate by another 25 basis points. But Powell said, no, everything's good. Everything's good with the banks. Don't worry about the banks. You know, all the ones that were supposed to go under are rescued and saved. Look at this. PacWest trading halted. Immediately down 41% this morning. Yesterday, it was down like 55% in the after hours. But now it's been halted. They are looking desperately for some kind of savior, right? They call it strategic options. But really what it means is, hey, we need someone to buy us out right now because we're about to collapse. Our shares have collapsed so much that, we're in deep trouble. We're in deep trouble. So, you know, I already talked about this last night, but that's where, well, let's just put it this way. This is just the beginning. Let's just say this is just the beginning. Remember Inverse Kramer, and I told you guys this, when he said that First Republic, after it was done deal, that the crisis is over and there's no more, and I told you guys for sure Inverse Kramer was going to be right, that there will be more crisis and more failures, right? Well, First Republic did go under. Now you're going to have PacWest. And I saw another one today because there's a Canadian lender, TD Bank, that was supposed to acquire First Horizon National Bank, and then they decided not to do so. That's not good. That's not good. And yeah, First Horizon is down 37% right now. 37%. And they are large. Over 5 billion market cap right now. So it looks like this bank may be feeling the pain soon too. A lot of these regional banks, I know that, you know, JP Morgan and Bank of America and Citibank, you know, the Goldman, these bigger banks seem to be okay. At least, I don't know, maybe there's trouble behind the scenes we don't know about. But these bigger regional banks are really struggling, and they're big. They're not like small mom and pop banks. These are huge banks with hundreds of billions of asset. First Republic Bank was the second largest bank failure in U.S. history, and it's considered a regional bank. So think about that. These guys are not small by any means. They're hundreds of billions of assets on hand, and they are going under. So PacWest looks like they're about to be done. And then First Horizon now, right? So bottom line is this. Powell said everything's okay with the banks. Not just Powell. Janet Yellen said everything's okay with the banks. President Biden said everything's okay with the banks. Everything's not okay with the banks. It's pretty clear. If everything was okay, these banks would not be struggling right now, right? So that's what's happening. But, you know, I talk a lot about the U.S., obviously, but, you know, elsewhere. There's an article from Reuters that talks about Europeans draining billions from banks as all these European banks are now seeing deposits dwindle because people are taking them out, either because the interest given is so little that is laughable that they're taking it out for money markets or other kind of, you know, or other notes or whatever that's paying more, and or they're taking it out because now they're seeing a lot of problems with banks. Let's not forget Credit Suisse was just bailed out recently too, right? A forced merger with UBS. So it's not just the U.S. banks. It's banks everywhere. And everyone's struggling right now because every government on the planet is trying to curb inflation by raising rates because that's the only thing they could do. And when they do that, it hurts these banks a lot. They've been hiding the pain until they no longer can bear it. And that's when things come out and everything tumbles down. right? So it's all over the place. It's all over the place. According to this, I don't know how many people were polled by CNBC that 48% of adults are worried about leaving their money at the bank right now. Okay. I don't know if that's high. That may be a little bit high. I don't know how many they polled, but still, I know a lot of you guys watching me right now, a lot of people that are in Bitcoin, yeah, they're worried about leaving massive amount of money in banks. Okay. I mean, banks are great until they're not. And I don't know what it is. Every 10 years, we see major bank failures. We have major collapses. Maybe because that's how long it takes before greed and leverage ruin something. But we see this all the time. Like every 10 years, almost like clockwork. Just like how the U.S. goes into recession like around every 10 years or so. Maybe it's just so much greed and leverage finally all comes down crashing, right? So that's exactly what's happening. Bill Ackman, which is a famous billionaire investor, says time is running out to fix further bank collapses. Domino effect is ongoing. I'm glad to hear someone coming out that's saying, hey, the banking crisis is not over. It's only beginning. Well, I shouldn't say that because he's not the only person. Standard Chartered Bank, their CEO just said that recently, and they're very pro-Bitcoin. They know what's up, right? So it's not just Bill Ackman. Bill Ackman is on, it's on a right track here too. Basically, what's going on right now is not good, and yesterday's further rate hike in the U.S. is not helping things at all. So this makes a lot of people think that this next FOMC meeting, Powell may have to cut immediately because between now and June, we get another 2 or 3 banks that go under. They can't ignore that. He cannot ignore that further, right? So it's actually predicted that there's actually a small chance, maybe that small chance has gotten bigger, that there may actually be a cut. Well, no, they actually removed it. They removed it. Now it's 98.5% chance that there will be no rate hikes for next month. But yesterday there was like a small little chance that there will be a cut. We'll see. We'll see. Powell says, yesterday he said basically no more hikes, but he's going to be monitoring the situation, meaning that if inflation somehow starts skyrocketing again, he may introduce another rate hike. But if we're seeing bank crisis ongoing and we got 3 more banks collapsing, there's no way he can ignore that. And we may get a cut next, in June. So we'll just have to wait and see. But what does this mean for Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin right now is the best alternative we have. If you want to take your money out, where do you go park it, right? Where do you go park it that doesn't have some kind of association with a bank or some kind of government entity or some kind of centralized service? Well, that's Bitcoin. Like, where else you go put it, right? You go put it in gold, something that doesn't even outperform inflation. You need to put it somewhere that can outperform inflation and get away from banks and centralization and everything else, right? And that's Bitcoin. That's Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's dominance surging after the banking crisis. Yes, yesterday Bitcoin pumped above 29,000. Unfortunately, it came down a little bit today. But overall, we know that Bitcoin has been showing a lot of strength ever since the banking crisis started, right? So if you zoom out a little bit, ever since around here, that's when Bitcoin started gaining strength. And this was when Silvergate went under. And it wasn't that long ago. It was like 3 months ago. And then SV Bank and everything else, right? There's day to day, week to week, there's still volatility. But overall, we are going up because people are recognizing that Bitcoin is the way. Bitcoin dominance is not only going up, but accumulation. This is, if you look on the right-hand side, you see all that red, deep red, as if someone was getting murdered. That shows how much accumulation there is right now. So the more red, the more accumulation. And this is with wallets that's under 1 Bitcoin, between 1 and 10 Bitcoin, between 10 to 100, between 100 to 1,000, and even 1,000 to 10,000. The only The only one that hasn't gone up recently is above 10,000. That's okay. That's like institutions. But everyone else that's considered retail or just general whales are stocking up and loading up on Bitcoin as we speak, especially with the banking crisis getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And according to Plan B and his stock to flow model, right, we're certainly coming up. We're not there yet. That magical 100,000 that we did not hit because of Powell, had he not announced rate hikes coming in December 2022, I think we would have hit that 100,000 mark. But we didn't. That's okay. It's clear that we are now recovering. Looking at previous cycles, you could see where we are versus where Bitcoin was in those previous cycles. And we know what's coming afterwards. And when this turns into red dots and then yellow and orange, that's when it's going to get real good. Real good indeed. But we're not quite there yet. But in the meantime, you know, it looks a lot like this. There's always going to be fractals. You can always find patterns, right? But right now, we definitely know that Bitcoin is gaining strength because of bank woes and crisis, right? The macro conditions look bad. However, Bitcoin is looking strong. So, fantastic stuff. What else is going on today? A couple of things. FTX still ongoing. Rumors that FTX may reopen. They're seeking to claw back $4 billion from another bankrupt company, which is Genesis. So basically, if they're able to claw back this, plus whatever they clawed back already, which was like $7.9 billion. I don't know if they included this in there. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. If they didn't, that means they're clawing back nearly $11 billion, which definitely gives them enough assets to reopen and pay back everyone. Maybe there's a real possibility of this, right? Not that any of us want FTX to come back, but at least if they do reopen up, everyone gets their money back. That's a positive, right? But it's just weird that there's like billions everywhere that they're able to claw back. You know, why didn't SBF do this beforehand, you know? Don't know. Maybe because they were doing everything with QuickBooks. Managing billions with QuickBooks. Maybe that's why. SEC has 10 days to respond to Coinbase. Remember, Coinbase sued SEC looking for a response to a question that they refused to answer. So they have 10 days. I don't know if they're going to respond a simple yes or no. That's all they need to do. But Gary is making it very, very, very difficult indeed to respond to Coinbase, whether or not security laws apply to crypto. That's it. That's all Coinbase asks. It should be a simple yes, yet Gary refuses to answer it. In all his funny little videos and press conferences, he's like, yeah, we have everything in place. Everything is written right there. You just need to come in and register. Yet when people are actually looking for real answers, specific answers, he refuses to answer. Just like how he refuses to answer in front of Congress whether Ethereum is security. He just keeps dodging and dodging and dodging, and no wonder crypto projects are leaving the United States. No one can stand it. No one wants to deal with it. Not good. Not good. Lastly, I know a lot of you guys are still monitoring Pepe. It has gone up another. Now it's at 650 million market cap. This is crazy, right? Yesterday I had a meme coin spaces, and overall it went pretty well. But Pepe is the recent one that is on an absolute tear, and they will not stop. But however, I know a lot of people like to ape into meme coins, okay? But I saw this. This is why you need to be careful, because there's another meme coin, WallStreetBets. Okay, there's a lot of WSB one. There's like Wall Street Baby and stuff like that. But WallStreetBets is supposed to be the official meme coin for the WallStreetBets Reddit group. Okay, yet the mod of that owns 10% of the supply, and he just decided to do a rug pull. Okay, so that meme coin has gone down to the gutter, right? So this is why you need to be careful with meme coins. This is why you don't want to put all your money into a meme coin thinking that you're going to become a millionaire overnight, because a lot of these you just don't know. They're all anonymous. You don't know who owns what. A lot of them created with bad intentions, and they could be absolutely rug pulled. I remember, I don't even know the story with SafeMoon. SafeMoon was one of the biggest meme coins before, and now you look at it, it's dead. So I think even they rug pulled. I don't know what it is. Sometimes, and SafeMoon has been around for a while, and Portnoy was like shilling them like crazy, right? So you just don't know sometimes. That's why when it comes to meme coins, outside of Doge and Sheeb and maybe Floki and some of the other bigger ones, maybe, for the most part, you just don't know anything about them. So you got to be very careful. You have to be extremely careful, because one day they could make you look like a genius, like, oh, I aped it and I made so much from Pepe, right? Another day, it could be a complete scam and you get rugged and then there's just nothing left. And it makes you feel stupid, right? So just be careful when it comes to meme coins. All right, that's pretty much it. Pac West is looking worse right now. First Horizon's looking worse right now too. So yeah, the crisis is definitely not over. All right, let's do some Q&A. Kevin says, George, Jerome Powell says he has many big tools inside his toolbox. He always says he has many tools in his toolbox. But when it comes to the Fed, there's only two tools. Either raise or decrease rates, so controlling the rates, and also whether they buy up assets or sell off assets. That's it. There's no more tools. Maybe he has the other tool is to spit out the money printer. You know, he has that ability. So I guess, yeah, maybe there's that too. Let's see. Is it possible that BTC dumps to 24, 25K again? It's always possible. Is it likely? Probably not. Recently, we saw Bitcoin dump down to 27,000 and it held, it came back up. Can it go back down to 24, 25? Sure, if something bad happens. But right now, Bitcoin is holding pretty steady. Let's see. Let's see. Someone says the printing stopped. Why do you think they want to raise the debt ceiling? Because they want to print more. Because without it, basically, there's no money. You know. I also read. I don't have the article. Like the IRS, they collected a lot less money this year for last year than expected. So they're not making a whole lot from taxes either. So how are they gonna get the money? Right? They raised the debt ceiling by $2 trillion. Why? Because they want to print $2 trillion. It's really that simple. Crypto Dream, I can't wait till they stop saying the U.S. might enter a recession. Yes, it's already a recession. We'll go deep into recession, yes. Rick V, did you DCA? Yes, yesterday. I don't miss it, Rick. If you don't see it, that means you missed it. So you need to go back. Carnivore Dave, appreciate it. What does Jim Cramer say? Jim Cramer says the bank woes are over after First Republic. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case. Coinbase won't be supporting Gala V2 upgrade. Are you sure about that? I don't know if that's the case. If they came out specifically and said we won't support it, then that's a different story. But it's very unlikely for exchanges to not support these big kind of conversions. And even if that was true, just don't leave Gala in Coinbase. Leave in your own wallet, right? You don't have to depend on Coinbase for the upgrade. In fact, you shouldn't. It's easy to leave it there, but you shouldn't. Gala's team said, you know, leave in your own wallet. A lot of people chimed in saying, yeah, they're not supporting it. Well, if that's the case, don't depend on them for the upgrade. Leave in your own wallet. Teaches you how to self-custody your own crypto. If Coinbase is not supporting it, it's probably because they're afraid that they may be sued by the SEC or something. Maybe they're thinking that's like a sign of security, something like that. That's kind of weird. That's the first time I have heard from you guys that a major exchange like Coinbase will not be supporting like a conversion or an airdrop like that. It's probably because of scrutiny with the SEC. What could have happened if SBF never existed? The whole sector would probably be much better. But then again, SBF and FTX weeded out a lot of the bad leverage companies in the space, right? So the good thing is he helped get rid of all those companies. The bad thing is he set us back a little bit further than we should have gone. Guys, don't ask me if Binance.us or all these places support Gala. I'm not a Gala. I'm not like one of their spokesperson. I'm not that into this big upgrade of theirs. Last time I talked to someone in Gala said he was telling me that they were still working on it. Nothing has been solidified in terms of exchanges and the liquidity pools and everyone else that has Gala in it. But what he did tell me is put in your own wallet, like the Trust wallet, okay, which will be supported 100%. But as for Coinbase or whatever, Binance.us, I don't know. I don't know. You'll have to go to their Twitter or their Medium page to find that out. But after this, I'll ask. I'll dig around, but I'm not an encyclopedia for Gala V2 airdrops. When was the last time anyone said encyclopedia? That like doesn't exist anymore. Do you think the metaverse hype will make a comeback in the next bull run? Yes. Yes. In the bull run, everything goes up, even when they shouldn't. Like metaverses. You know, like Decentraland and Sandbox shot up to the moon in 2021, even though they were very incomplete, not a whole lot of things going on. And it was just all hype around metaverses, right? Like same thing with AI. AI shot up, you know, within the last 6 months or so because of ChatGPT, but the AI project in crypto space really didn't change. You know, sometimes just, you know, FOMO and trends cause things to pump. I don't expect any different with this cycle. Oh boy, that's no good. Trading halted. Should investor be using TD Ameritrade, be worried about TD Bank concern? Well, TD Ameritrade is being bought out by Charles Schwab. So I don't think there's concerns there. But Charles Schwab was a little iffy too. But I think that merger is already, it already happened. Not happening, it already happened. Western Alliance, is that another bank that's failing? Yeah, Western Alliance Bancorp down 20%. Not as bad as the other one, but it's definitely down. Trading halted too. I don't mean to laugh. If you're invested in any of these banks, you're probably not laughing. But you know, when you see all these banks having their trading halted, you know that's no good, right? So yeah, these are all big regional banks. Paramount Global falls 25%. You know the market's really shaky still, right? As much as we like to think that, oh, you know, everything's getting better, the U.S. market, the stock market at least, has not been doing well at all. There's still a lot of fear, a lot of FUD out there. Bitcoin has been doing much better. Ooh, Ferrari profit jumps 24%. Well, obviously the rich did not get affected. But for everyone else, you know, you got to buy assets. What it comes down to is you have to have assets. Assets gets pushed up by inflation. Inflation helps assets. So you have to buy assets that go up either at inflation's pace or faster than inflation's pace to really truly win. If you're holding on depreciating stuff, then that's no good. And cars are depreciating. I don't know, your toys, whatever you might get, your Xbox or your PlayStation, those are depreciating. You know, if you spend all your money on depreciating stuff, you're going to lose. Or if you're holding on cash, you're going to lose, unless you plan on using that to buy assets that appreciate. Greg, no, because I ordered it straight from them. So, and I waited a year and a half. So I actually got it at MSRP. One of the reasons why I took delivery, because it already appreciated by the time I took delivery. Why wouldn't gold go up also? See, that's a good question. I'm not old enough to remember like the gold bloom, right? Like I wasn't born like in the 60s, 70s when gold started going up, and that's when Peter Schiff got all crazy about gold, right? Back then, yeah, gold was appreciating like crazy, but ever since it hit like 2000, it just stopped. You know, people blame, I think Peter Schiff blames Wall Street for manipulating gold through paper. I don't know, like, because honestly, like, who wants to hold gold? No one does. There's nothing to, like, yes, I get it. You could use gold in medical supplies. You use it in jewelry. Yes, I get those things. But as an investment, why would you ever buy something that doesn't move? For the last 12 years, it's still at the same price. In fact, it's lower now than like 12 years ago. So I just don't know why, especially millennials. You talk to millennials or Gen Zs or whatever new asset class, not asset class, people class. They're not buying gold. Not one of them is interested in gold. they probably don't even like Bitcoin anymore. Like I hate to say it, like Bitcoin seems too old for them. They want the meme coins like Pepe. But still, at least Bitcoin, you could do something with it. Now you could buy memes on top of it. You can have NFTs on top of Bitcoin, right? You can spend it. How do you go spend gold? You can't. So that may be the reason why, because no one's interested in it anymore, other than the older folks that still hold on to their gold bars or jewelry or whatever, or their gold ETFs. But I think that's the reason. Ooh, Western Alliance is getting worse. Now it's down 22%. Yeah, these regional banks are really suffering right now. You know what gold is now? Gold is like stable coins for the stock market. I think that's the new narrative for gold. It's like, in crypto, you could cash out to USDT or USDC, right? With stocks, your only option is to cash out to your bank. But you could buy gold now, so you don't have to take your money out, right? So I think gold is now the new stable coin for stocks or bonds or mutual funds or whatever, if you think about it. And that's not a bad thing, to be something that has very low volatility, that will hold its value, right? But it just won't appreciate. Yeah, paper gold just means like, the options market, the ETF market, the futures market. Basically, you're manipulating the price of gold without actually taking delivery of gold. Let's bring up gold price chart right here. All right, so you look at 5 years, right? Over here, the last time it was this high was 2020, and then you have to go back to 20 years. Okay, 20 years. Yes, 20 years, going all the way back over here when gold was $4 an ounce, and then it shot up to over here 1800, and then it went down, and then it went here, and then went here, right? So you know what? I'm wrong. I'll say I'm wrong, because it is higher than 12 years ago, when back then it was like 1800, right? So it is higher, but how much higher? From 1840 to 2040, right? $200. So for the last 13 years or 12 years, gold went up by $200, which is approximately 10%, 15, yeah, 12, 15%. So I stand corrected. It did go up 10 to 12% in the last 12 years, but how much did Bitcoin go up in the last 12 years? 5 million%, so if you take into account of inflation since 2011 till now, I bet inflation has gone up more than 12%. So I don't even think gold is keeping up with inflation. And if it doesn't, that means you're still losing, right? If you can't keep up with inflation, then you're losing. Someone says Pepe is pumping hard again. Yeah, it sure is. It's crazy. It's crazy that it's 658 billion in market cap. It is the third largest meme coin, right under SHIB. SHIB is still at how many billion? SHIB is at almost 6 billion. Can Pepe do a 10x from here and reach SHIB levels? I don't know. I don't think so. But you know what? With meme coins, you just don't know. And I'm not advocating everyone to go buy Pepe, okay? That's not what I'm saying. But I said the same thing when SHIB was pumping. I'm like, there's no way we'll ever have another Doge. There's no way something that pumped this hard could ever, you know, ever stay up, right? But it did. The community just loved SHIB and just kept buying and holding it, and it's still sitting at number 15. It didn't go away. And now they're building real utility. I'm not saying that it's going to happen with Pepe, but maybe. Who knows, right? But be careful because there's rug pulls all the time. Like WallStreetBets, whoever the mod is, just dump the hell out of it, right? So that's a complete rug pull. So you got to be careful when it comes to meme coins. You can't compare like that. LWJ says, compare it to what? BTC is supposed to do better because it's considered new generation and these things tend to do better. That's not a good explanation at all. Just because something's newer doesn't mean that it tends to perform better. I don't expect, you know, I don't expect Pepe to like rise up and be number one on CMC, all right? I'm not expecting Pepe to reach 550 billion in market cap, right? So just because something is new doesn't mean that it automatically just becomes bigger and better. All right, guys. To conclude, it's looking no good for the banks. I didn't even know about Western until someone brought it up, but Western's struggling. Pac West is struggling. And then you have this other one, First Horizon, that's struggling. Every single bank seems to be struggling. I mean, today is a bad day, but still, you know, this banking crisis is getting out of control. It's not stopping. And it's not just in the U.S. It's everywhere. I'm sure it's happening in Asia too, happening in Australia, happening in Europe, happening everywhere. This is the greatest reason right now to be taking your money, taking control of it, and putting it into something that is better. Bitcoin. All right? Have a good one. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.